In the year 1100, you could buy your freedom with a bag of silver. But today, our schools and democracies have traded that self-rule for something much more dangerous: obedience. Here is the 900-year-old blueprint for a society that actually works. Why does self-rule matter, and what does it tell us about our democracies and our schools today? Between 1100 and 1300, more than 1,000 European towns bought their own independence. They paid their lords for a charter. This wasn't just a legal document, it was a license to try new things. It gave them the right to elect officials, levy taxes, and most importantly, to govern their own mistakes. That simple idea, the right to self-rule, transformed everything. Charters created self-governing cities. Guilds turned the right to experiment into high-quality mastery. Trade fairs became laboratories for new ideas. Local courts allowed citizens to negotiate their own justice. In Europe's communes, people didn't just follow a master plan. They practiced the right to fail, learn, and adapt when circumstances changed. This snowballed, creating the innovations that ultimately built the modern world as we know it. Do our current systems really follow the spirit of those charters, the right to self-rule and the freedom to experiment? History is clear. Authoritarian systems struggle with creativity. They fear trial and error. They fear the right to fail because to a dictator, failure looks like weakness. But without the freedom to be wrong, you never get new ideas. A healthy democracy behaves like those medieval communes. It leaves citizens free to build institutions from the bottom up and treats local failures as valuable lessons rather than disasters. There's one place where this tension is especially visible: school. If the ability to experiment and fail creates innovation in cities, what does the lack of it do in classrooms? This is the place where we form the citizens of tomorrow, and that makes the stakes incredibly high. Today, many schools are obedience machines. The hidden curriculum is, don't take risks and follow the rules. When students are denied the right to fail and test, they learn that the safest strategy is to never try anything new. If we want those future citizens to lead and innovate, we cannot train them to simply wait for orders. Switzerland remains the ultimate modern example of this theory, a democracy that nations around the world look to and try to emulate. Its 26 cantons act as 26 different laboratories. Because power is pushed downward, each canton has the right to self-rule, which includes the right to try a policy that fails. When one canton experiments with a new education model and succeeds, others copy it. When it fails, the damage is localized and the lesson is shared. Citizens can even launch initiatives to change the rules if they believe there is a better way. This is self-rule in action, a system that uses experimentation to find the path forward. But self-rule isn't just about politics or economics. It's about our psychological well-being. This isn't just theory, it's backed by decades of research into self-determination theory by psychologists Edward Deci and Richard Ryan. Their work shows that when we have autonomy, the power of self-rule, our stress levels drop significantly. Some studies show a reduction in stress of over 30%, while our engagement and passion at work can soar by more than 60%. When we act out of personal values rather than external pressure, what we call intrinsic motivation, we perform better and stay resilient against depression and anxiety. Individual self-rule allows us to build an authentic identity, exploring our unique talents rather than just conforming to outside expectations. To sum up, Europe's rise was powered by a simple realization. When people have the right to self-rule, trust replaces fear. When they have the right to fail, creativity takes root. The lesson for today is simple. If we want democratic systems that work, we must let citizens self-organize. If we want schools that produce creators, we must give students the right to experiment and the freedom to be wrong. One thing is sure, authoritarian systems do not work. The lessons from the past are clear. Such systems can command obedience, but you cannot command innovation. Creativity only grows where the people are free to express themselves and fail. Thank you for joining this exploration on Curiosity Matters. For further analysis of the forces that shaped our modern trajectory, join our community of the curious.